I want to talk a little bit about how to generate passive income in real estate. And that's a term thrown around quite loosely. And there are strategies that are more passive and ones that are not so passive. But that term is thrown around. And you just need to understand a little bit about each of these and what your desires are and what your goals are for, investing in real estate. Because there's good points and bad points to each of these. And I'm not going to go into all of it, but I'll just do a little bit of highlights. One is rental properties. That could be, commercial, residential, rental properties. But people say, oh, I want passive income. I'm going to start buying rental properties and self-managing. That is not passive income. You can make rental properties, commercial and residential, a lot more passive by maybe having a professional property manager, things like that. But somebody you definitely need to keep in mind, if you're managing themselves, it's pretty involved and it could turn into a full-time job quite quickly. If you want something a little bit more hands-off, you can consider REITs. There's publicly traded REITs. There's all kinds of them out there that pay dividends and returns and, do quite well out there. If you have some extra money you want to put aside and you want to be maybe part of a, bigger portfolio, it's definitely a potential out there. In the similar lines, but maybe a little bit smaller is, you might be familiar with crowdfunding. And usually those can be from, small individual projects up to, different portfolios, things like that. It's definitely something that is out there, as well as syndications. Syndications usually, and most syndication is usually a particular project, but it's usually a large project. There's good and bad points to each of those. I'd say the best point is that they are usually truly passive. The bad points is there's not very much control on investments like that. You're sort of along for the ride, and hopefully their management style, their goals and desires match up to what your goals and desires are as well. You can do vacation rentals or Airbnb, short-term rentals, which is probably the most intense of any of these if you're doing them yourself, because it's really not even rental real estate in my opinion. It's more hospitality. You're in the hospitality business and you need to be available almost 24/7 for these people. And again, to become more passive, having a manager on site or somebody that's available to manage these for you can make it a lot more passive for you. Real estate notes, if you're in a position where you can maybe you have some cash that you need to put to work that you're looking for a little bit more passive return on, but secured by real estate, acting as the bank for people can be quite lucrative for people. But you need to understand all the rules and regulations and things like that that go along with that and what your liability and risks are and something like that. A great way to get started for people that want to get involved investing is, you might have heard the term house hacking before. House hacking is usually where you can buy a duplex to 4 units, something that you can buy with financing that is owner occupied. Most places will allow you to buy up to a 4-unit property with owner occupied financing, which is usually more favorable terms. And maybe you rent a unit out and, you live in one unit and you rent the other, 1, 2, 3 units out. And it's a great way to get started in investing. So you really need to take a look at what your goals are and what you truly are doing before, making a decision on which way you want to go.